meditation with some shoulder rolls, just to kind of awaken our body. Let's do 5 going back. Slowly start finding your breath. 5 rolling forward. Just kind of breathe on your own time to kind of awaken the body. Hello, hello. Alright, and as we kind of roll the neck around, let's find our 6 deep breaths. 6 count inhales and 6 count exhales. Rotate the head the other way. Let's breathe together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhaling for 6. Exhaling for 6. As we inhale and exhale, just kind of take the time to acknowledge the space that you're in. Engage the eyeballs. Inhale. Make sure they're awake. Make sure you can see everything around you. Exhale. For our next 3 breaths, we're going to start loosening up the jaw, the eyelids, the back of the neck. Focus on that. Our eyes are engaged. Inhale. Exhale. See how far you can inhale. How big your belly can expand. Exhale for 6. And how much you can get out of there. One more all together. Our jaws release. Our eyes are engaged but relaxed. Our ears are getting affected by gravity. Awesome. Let's do a quick fingertip love. Our breath is still continuous. Still do those 6 count inhales. We're just kind of acknowledging our tension spots quickly, also warming up the body. Massage the front of the forehead, and a little tap, tap, tap. Exhale. Inhale. Tapping the front of the chest. Exhale. Start a little bit of slap love. We're breathing and exhaling. Get our toxic armpits out of the way. Exhale. Kind of gently tap our intestines. Get all that holiday food awakened. Lower back, not too hard. We're still breathing. Booties. A little bit of leg taps. Maybe a little bit of rubbing. We're still breathing. We're still relaxing our jaws to the back of our necks. Engaging as little as we can. A little bit of shin rubbing. Kneecap love. Top of the feet, ankles. Awesome. Let's do a little bit of alignment today. So this is really good if you're ever kind of walking and feel like your spine is in a kink, kind of like it hurts to walk and you're like, what is that feeling? This is a good alignment exercise and kind of engages our inner thighs, butts, and pelvises. So basically what we're going to do is put our hands in between our legs, right above our knees and our inner thighs. And we're going to hold a parallel position, but our hands are going to create some resistance. So as our hands are coming out, our knees are coming in, and we're going to do that for about 10 seconds, 3 times. So try to be as extreme as possible about pushing out while your knees are pushing in. And we have a soft bend in our knees. Let's do that and make sure we're breathing and go. If If you want to do it this way too, you can. Awesome. Relax. Jiggle, jiggle. Let's do it again for 10 and go. Try to feel like your feet are spreading out. You're keeping a very even distribution between your weight. You're just creating a little bit of tension. We'll do that one more time. Still breathing. Awesome. I felt a little bit of warmth behind my butt and my hamstring because we're kind of doing like a full body experience. We're going to do the inverse of that now, which is the second half of this exercise, which is, again, now our hands are coming in instead of out. They're coming in, and our knees are resisting by pushing out. So before was the opposite, right? So now we're getting the other side. So let's do it. Inhale and push. Awesome. And you can find your own way to kind of make that extreme for you. So again, inhale. Release tension in any unnecessary places. Awesome. Now we should be feeling our inner thighs warming up a bit, and in general our whole bodies. Inhale. Feeling a lot in my pelvic region and the ground. Walk forwards, like taking a few steps forward, but as we do, we're just being extra attentive to the kind of pathway that our feet have to go in order to walk forwards and backwards. We're kind of putting a little bit of tension into the floor just to create some resistance and engagement, awaken the metatarsals. We're still breathing, our eyes are engaged but relaxed. Awesome. Get those little crackety crinks out of your ankles, feet, and toes. Just to kind of warm up our ankles and calves. Awesome. Now with that resistance, we can add a little bit of arm resistance. So doing a kind of vertical movement with our arms, swinging sensation, but adding a warm tension and still breathing. And then as you kind of extend, if you can turn that into an extreme kind of stretch, to waken up the shoulders, to waken up the lower backs of our spines. I am arching a little bit as I kind of reach back, just to feel that opposition, like a yawn. We'll do it a few more times. So there is tension in the space. There is something in the air. Awesome. Now let's do a little bit of kind of how we started our meditation with shoulder rolls. We're going to get into that, but we're going to open up the arms so that we're getting kind of a stretch in the inner parts of the arms. We're still breathing. And we can use a little bit of our spine too to kind of waken up ourselves laterally. Forward curves, arches, our necks a little. So there's a little bit of tension in the air again. Not so water-like, but more like we're pushing walls away from ourselves. Or we're shifting, it's shifting things in the space, which it's quite effortful, so you might feel a little burn in your arms, especially your shoulders, as I am feeling. The goal here is to keep our breath cyclical, but also not to over-engage the shoulders. We don't want to heighten the shoulders. We want to keep our alignment there, but engage in our kind of outward extremity, outward muscles, right? So instead of causing tension in our shoulder, We're doing tension in the front and the back of the arms, maybe the kind of wings of our back, where our back's attached to our spine. We're not allowing ourselves to unnecessarily arch, right? We only arch if we're trying to stretch, but we don't arch because we're trying to move our arms. Our arms move independently from our spines unless we're intentionally adding arches. So we have forward folds. Right there, I just added shoulders for no reason. So we have, see if you can move your arms independently from your shoulders. So there are times when you want to add those shoulders, and there are times when you just want to do the motion and keep your alignment, right? And then also find ways when like the tension is here, but you don't need the tension anymore, right? You can still move without tension. So play a little bit with that and some lateral spine movements, right? And then eventually you'll want to get into some knee bends. So you want to use the ability of your legs and knees to kind of find different shapes that will allow you to stretch in different ways. We have been playing with tension a lot for the past few meditations, so kind of wrap this idea up in a bit. Also, we're still breathing, and now let's kind of combine what I was talking about a few seconds ago about how we're allowed to move our arms independently, how we have the ability to add lots of tension, but we also have the ability to be efficient with our muscularity. So that being said, think about if we were attached with strings, right? So there's a hanging point in our arms, right? There's a hanging part where it can hang above our shoulders or it can hang within our shoulder range. And we have this effortless kind of tension, right? So now when I'm folding forward, the arms are getting lifted up, the shoulders are still down, but there's not really much tension. It's more like sequential, like we're allowing ourselves to use as little energy as possible, but we're still finding places of stretching. But I'm not putting tension on my body. I'm just allowing the string in my right hand, allowing the string in my left hand, the weight of the fingertips to kind of guide my movement. So it should almost feel like the weights that you put for balloons at a party to keep the balloons on the table, right? So we don't have full energy tension here, we have extremity tension. So wherever it is, if we're rolling up, it's in the elbow, and then it leads to the wrist, and then it goes into the fingertips. But everything else is soft and relaxed, and we're still doing our breaths. And for me, when I am doing these kind of improv-based exercises, I am finding, using my natural rotation, right, to find new pathways in the body. So let's use this time to kind of explore which ways our body moves, which ways our bodies can move, and how that kind of guides the direction of movement, right? So we have horizontal circles, we have twists, we have melting sequentials, but we also have like keeping the arms straight. We have circles, we have twists, we have finding opposition, switching that opposition, we have turning into each other, right? So we have, I'm losing my words, but we're moving in the same direction, or we're moving opposite from each other, inward and outward. And kind of play independently with that same floaty balloon kind of weight in the wrists and the fingertips and the elbows, creating a natural sense of softness in our chest. And just find ways that we can move. And if you're fixated on your arms right now, as I am, but you're ready to move forward, you know, add a limb. I'm here, right? So it makes me feel like I want to lift my leg up because I have that space. I have the option to close both my body. I have the option to open my body, but I also have the option to close one half of my body and keep the other half open. So just figure out, same with your ankles and feet. We have weights in our feet and ankles and our knees, but everything else is floating. So we've explored a good amount with our arms. I think we can move into arm as an accessory, but now we have our legs and feet, which is good for stability too. We want to find kind of our ways of balancing. So if you want to take a moment just to kind of expand on our walks forward, but now kind of lift the knee up a little. And we're still breathing, right? And after we've done that a few times, just want to accentuate the idea of the weight in the knee and the ankle, right? So I'm not gripping in my hip. I'm just allowing it to feel floaty here and relaxed in the hip. So that's kind of the sensation, right? You should feel all of a sudden like that your pelvis is in alignment and you're just like sitting in the position, sitting in a place that it's meant to be sat in. So once we find that a little bit, we can do some rotations if that's possible. If you need something more gentle, just smaller circles, maybe more extending. Play a little bit with your range of motion here, right? But we have this sensation that we're being efficient with our energy, so I'm not gripping and I'm not stirring with a thickness. It's just dangling and allowing the pendulum to swing. We also have this back range, so find a little bit of where your stability is. Make sure, as we've talked about in forward folds, not having the weight back and having the weight forward. You find that same sensation when you go on one leg. So the weight is over the leg. We're not doing that. Ooh. We're staying over our leg. Just find a little bit. You have a little jiggle. Bring the leg forward. See if you can move kind of your range of motion in your hips without gripping again, right? Focus on the knee leading. Just a little bit of range of motion so you can get some of that gooey, icky kind of cranky feeling out of our hips. Awesome, let's switch to the other leg if you haven't done so already. Just a little bit of range of motion, finding stability in the forward leg. If you want to drop your arms, if you want to add a little bit, if you want to bend your knee, if you want to shaking here, I don't know if you can see. And then we pull it a little bit. We're still breathing with our hips. No tension in the hips. Everything's being managed by this invisible string. Right? Awesome. Let's take a breath and inhale while raising your arms up together. Let's go into our first forward fold. Our first official forward fold. Nice. So today this feels pretty good to me since you've been jiggling a little bit more than usual. We have our hips and weight over our feet. Awesome. I'm doing a little right leg bending, left leg bending, just to wake up some of those hamstring parts that we've been working on while finding stability. Let's do a little walk out, get weight on the hands. Have weight come back in, drop the head. Let's do a plie together, bend the knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, straight in. Let's do that 3 times. So walk forward, put hands, weight in the hands. Just kind of wake up the palms. Dangle the head, plie. 1, 2, 3, 4. Unfold. One last time. We're breathing. Hands in the weight in the hands. Back, plie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do a little half arch up. Come back down. Feeling the length of the legs. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Now if you can, we'll do a little full body warm-up. So let's walk back into our plank. If you want, take a second in your front lunge, just to kind of get that front hip open. Awesome. Then switch to the other leg. A little front lunge stretch. Gentle breathing. We can get into our plank now. Let's hold this for 30 seconds. Inhale. We're pushing away, right? Exhale. Just going to show you my alignment, even though I'm wearing a gigantic sweater. Inhale. So I'm pushing away from the ground. I'm creating space in between my wrists, elbows, shoulders. It's helping me with my alignment. Make sure we're breathing. 15 more seconds. Still breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the knees down. Awesome job. Let's take a breath together. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the hands to heart center. Awesome. We're going to do that plank again one more time for 30 seconds. This time I want to add this layer, this extra thought of reaching with the back foot, right? We're not trying to be overextended arch here. We're not trying to be too far back. We're trying to keep like a 90-degree flatness, as if we're reaching back with the back foot. Let's go into that plank again for 30 seconds. We're finding a continuous breath here. Let's just accept the silence in our minds. Allow the warmth from that plank just to settle and just focus forward, have our eyes engaged, release our jaw, eyes, back, the ears, continue our breath. Sit in silence. Think of one thing that you're grateful for and allow that to kind of resonate in our body. One thing only. There's something to be said for specificity and clear intention. So just pick one thing. Awesome. And as we have that one thing with us, let's take it into our hands and hold it into our hearts and slowly come up however you can. And keep on thinking about that one thing that you're grateful for until it becomes a physical thought in your hands. Let's wash that intention in our face. Whatever that thing is that you're thinking of as we speak, as I speak, try to grab it again. Wash it over your face. And now let it sit on your body. Allow it to seep into your skin. keep on thinking about it. The more clear it is in your mind, the more that you feel it physically in your body. Allow whatever that thing that you're grateful for seep into your body, kind of lift you into a sense of happiness or hopefulness. And then let's just take the last few minutes to find ways to express that physically, right? So it can be your own flow of intention. It can be your own exploration. It can be shifting the affirmation into space and playing with it. I think that's what I'm going to be doing, so feel free to join me. So if we have this physical affirmation that we've manifested, it's in space with us, we can manipulate it, right? We can hold it in our hand, we can toss it and let it float. It can have different textures and timings too. It doesn't have to be a ball. It's flexible because it came out of ourselves, it came out of our own thoughts, right? But what we are doing here is very clearly seeing it and manipulating it in some way or another, whether it be me stepping on it, or me throwing it up in the air, or it floating in space and me keeping my eyes on it. But whatever it is, you clearly see it, and we're just going to play with that idea of moving it around the space, moving our affirmation, us manipulating it, because it is ours, it came out of us, so we do have that power to kind of shape it and shift it. Make it really big, or turn it into a really tiny thing. So for the next 2 minutes, let's just manipulate our grateful feeling, our affirmation, whatever that is. And I'm gonna go in silence again for those last 2 minutes, just because there's something about just thinking about it yourself and not having me kind of guide what you're thinking about. So 2 minutes. And now decide what you want to do with it, whether it be let it escape you, ingest it, just leave it there. And on your own time, find a neutral place. Take one more breath together. Inhale, hands to heart, drop it down.